Bye.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be cleaning the carburetor on my 1973 Honda CB125. I have no idea how to do this, but let's jump right in because learning new things is fun. I grabbed myself a climber manual off the internet and it had full detailed descriptions on this whole process. Right here I'm just removing the carburetor from the motorcycle itself. So far I've just separated the air box from my carburetor and now I'm just removing a nut on either side of the carburetor that attaches to the intake. After that I just disconnected my fuel line and unscrewed my throttle cable off the top of the carburetor. Once that was done, my carburetor just slid right off the motorcycle. Now before we go take this thing apart, keep in mind that this is the first time I've ever done this. I wouldn't call this a step-by-step tutorial, but this is the process I used and it did end up working for me. This video is more about showing that you don't always need a professional to get things done. You can get your hands in there and figure it out yourself. So the first thing I did once I got my carburetor into the workshop was slide off the retaining strap and remove my float bowl. Now I should have removed the floats first, but I didn't, so here I'm just removing the jets. All these parts are made of brass, so you want to be really easy on them with the screwdriver. Once you have the jets out, throw them into some sort of glass container that you can clean them in. On the side of my carburetor was my idle speed screw and my idle mixture screw, and behind each one of those screws was a little spring. And I threw them right into the glass jar as well. If your float bowl is dirty, you can spray it with carb cleaner and use an old toothbrush to clean it. Just make sure you remove the rubber gasket beforehand because the carb cleaner will eat away at it. Also, be careful not to drop any of these parts. They're really small. I dropped a spring and it took me like an hour to find it. Here I'm just removing the pin and taking out the floats. You may need a pair of needle nose pliers to remove your pin, but mine slid out pretty easily. Underneath your floats is your float needle. Just pull that out and throw it in with your other parts to be cleaned. After that, just submerge all your parts in carb cleaner and let it sit for a while. I don't show it here, but my jets were pretty clogged, so I had to clean them 3 times before I got them clean enough for the bike to run right. Now it's just time to reassemble the carburetor. If this is your first time doing it, I recommend filming the disassembly process so you can watch it back afterwards and you won't get confused. Although with mine it was pretty easy. When it came to the idle mixture screws, I screwed them all the way in snug and then backed them out 1 1/4 turns to start. I did have to adjust them once they were on the bike, but it was a good starting point. Now there's nothing left to do but put it back on the motorcycle and go for a ride. When I removed the carburetor from my motorcycle, I really had no clue what I was doing, but really there's no risk because it wasn't working anyway. So what was I going to do, break it more? And even if you do break it more, it's just learning. You take steps to move forward and figure it out. Not to mention, figuring things out on your own makes you feel pretty damn good about yourself. So get out there, find something that's broken, grab some tools, and fix it.
Bye. See you again. And have a good dream.